Welcome to Rhythm and Roads Las Vegas. I'm your host, Joshua Jacob. On today's show on the Health and Wellness series, we have my friend Jamie Mallek. She's actually an entrepreneur, the host of Rooted Real Talk. She has her own podcast show, and she's a fitness and nutrition expert. So welcome, Jamie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on again. Our
Yeah,
last
welcome
conversation
back.
was such a blast, so I'm excited to be back.
Awesome. Yeah, and you have such a incredible story about to be shared of just your journey right now, what you are competing for. But yeah, but before we get into it, let's get more. Let's start with you because I know maybe some viewers haven't seen the prior interview. But just let's talk real quick on your journey from how you started to where you're at now. And we'll go from.
Okay. Okay. And is this on a health and
Oh,
wellness
well,
side
more
of
just
it?
personal. Just, I mean, how did you, your journey from, I know you had a testimony. You could share a bit of your testimony,
Mm-hmm.
the rooted real talk, and then we'll go from there to where you're at now.
Okay. Okay. Man, it's been such a journey.
Yeah.
God's been working for so many years on me, and it's just a continued thing. So, but that's what sanctification is, right? So we just continue to get better and better. Let's see. So when I was younger, like all through my high school years, I had a hardcore like party lifestyle. I was from a small town, which there was nothing to do. So all we did was party all the time, basically. And I found myself getting stuck in that lifestyle for over 10 years.
Wow.
And in the middle of it, though, I was still working out. My parents were both in fitness. They were triathletes, and my
Oh,
mom
wow.
worked in fitness. So I had a great example. And so I was always kind of in it, but I found myself stuck in this pattern where, I do great on the during the weeks, and then on the weekends I would just blow it. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm not seeing results, Hello. But then like later on, eventually, finally, there were so many times where God was trying to get my attention that drinking was going to be a problem. And he just kept knocking on my door. And then finally, he used my husband actually to get my attention. And so I
Wow.
finally recognized like drinking was a major problem for me. And so I decided to slow down and get sober. And I'm going on 2 years sober now come August,
Wow.
which is
Congrats on
a
that. Yeah.
testimony in itself.
Yeah.
Thank you. But along that journey too, I experienced so many breakthroughs in my fitness and just life in general. And now it's actually led me to competing for the 2026 Miss Health and Fitness title, which is just so crazy.
Yeah.
But it's been an
Yeah.
experience. I've learned a lot about myself, a lot about my body, and a lot about training in general because you can
Wow.
train for different things.
Yeah.
And so I'm just over here just absorbing everything I can and trying new things that works and whatnot. But it's all led into just God's testimony of my life. Like my whole life is a God did it story, is what I
Wow.
say. His hand has been in everything, and so he's led me through business, which has been such a learning experience over the last 10 years. I got into business with my husband in plumbing, and then we are now partners in real estate entities where I do the
Whoa.
property
Very cool.
management.
Okay.
And then I also, like you said, have a podcast, which God led me to do that last year. It's a crazy story because I wanted to do a podcast for so long. Like, I love podcasts. I say I'm a podcast queen. I just listen to them all the time. And so I really wanted to, but I was like, I don't even know where I'm going to find the time to do this. Like, I am already so time constrained. And so there was time after time where he was like, you need to do this, you need to do this. And like, no, not yet. But then a friend from a small group, she came up to me and she was like, hey, would you want to do a podcast with me? And I'm like, oh, maybe this is an open door. Like two people would make it maybe a little bit easier to like launch it. I'm not quite sure. And so we had talked about it and we ended up not doing it. It just wasn't a good fit, we'll say. But then, literally right after that, there was a publishing company that I had collaborated with for my book, and they helped me do like a whole podcast tour basically. And they were like, they gave me a call, I kid you not, like a few days later, and they were like, hey, we think you should do a podcast. And I'm
Wow.
like, well, funny you say that, because I've literally
Yeah.
been thinking about this. And so I was actually on my way over to Las Vegas to a Hermosi event to meet my friend Emily Gibson over there, and she
Oh,
has a
cool.
podcast herself.
Okay.
And so I was telling her about my whole story, and she's like, well, how long do you think it's going to take you? And I said, I have no idea. And she's like, well, that's your problem. Like, it might not take you as long as you think, And also, like, why are you putting so much pressure on yourself? Just do it, just
Yeah.
start. I was like, okay, done. Like, let's do it. So I collaborated with the publisher. They helped me launch after a few months,
Wow.
and now we're up and running, and it's just been a blast. Like, I love it so much. It's all talking about like life experiences. I say we're rooted in scripture and equipped for life because the Bible is life's roadmap. And
Yeah.
so it has something to say about everything. So that's where we're at. It's been just a crazy journey. Here we are.
Yeah, what a journey. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And that's so cool how God's opened doors for you and your husband and the business, the podcast. And now we're going to get into the fitness journey of just where you're at now. Go ahead and share this competition you're part of.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So Miss Health and Fitness. So I saw this come up actually last year and I was like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
But I never actually like acted on it. And so then it
Okay.
came up again this year and I'm like, I'm doing it. Let's do it. So I submitted myself. I got qualified. I was like, oh my
Wow.
gosh, like this is amazing. So it started in February and we've been going all the way since. It's
Wow.
nationwide. So it
Okay.
started with over 29,000 women. We've
Wow.
made it all the
29,000?
way. Yes. It's a huge thing. So we've made it all the way to semifinals right now. I'm competing against around something around like 350 women at this point. The next cut is on Thursday for finals. So we are so close to winning. But when I win, you get a $20,000 grand prize. And when I win, I want to donate 10,000 to our church, King's Chapel. They're
Wow.
building a brand new sanctuary. And I'm just like, I have to win this for
Yeah.
them, you know?
That's awesome.
But also like you get the cover of Hers magazine. And so, like I
Oh, you
said, my life
do?
is
Oh,
a
shoot. That's cool.
yeah. So my life is a God did it testimony. So I wanted to share the good news of Jesus. So my whole story and all those pages is gonna be about God and what He's done for me. So I am just praying for this win.
Yeah, amen to that. I hope you get when do you find out if you made the cut?
Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time is
Oh,
the official cut.
oh
Yep,
man. Well, it's in God's hands, so
that's
that's where
right.
the trust comes in, and God already knows the future, so we're just gonna wait for Thursday at 7.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
right. I'm still just doing the work and just being
Yeah,
obedient in the acting, you know. I've been going around the community trying to rally some local businesses and rally the community to help me and get some
that's cool.
sponsorships. And people have just been awesome. Like the support throughout this entire journey has been just overwhelming. It's just so cool.
So cool. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that it's working out for you, and hopefully, Lord willing, you pass on Thursday.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And so with this fitness, yes, like you said, there's so much that goes into taking care of yourself, the body, of course, spiritually, mentally. But let's talk more on the nutrition side. I know sometimes
hmm
it's us, with jobs that we just pick up and go and grab something quick. But like, what do you recommend for those that are just the nutrition side of just what's good in greens, certain things that we can really focus on
hmm
and certain things like that?
Yeah, so protein first. Always
Protein first.
protein
Okay.
first. Yes. So this is something I learned actually while I was doing the Live Hard program. I did Live Hard. I don't know if you know what that is. Have you heard of
I
that
know I don't.
before?
No.
Have you heard of 75 Hard?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry.
So Andrew Frisella, he started this program called 75 Hard. It's like the whole Live Hard program, basically. It's a mental toughness transformation
Oh wow.
program.
Okay.
And so this is a crazy story too, actually. So I found Andrew Frisella through the Ed Milet podcast, started listening to Andy's podcast, and then I learned about 75 Hard, and I also learned there was a book on mental toughness, and I'm like, oh, I want to get that. That sounds amazing. Like, I
Yeah.
love Andy. So I get the book, not even knowing it's really about like 75 Hard and Live Hard. And so I just like read through this book. I couldn't put it down. It was so good. But I still had like no intention really of starting the Live Hard program. By the end of the book, I'm like, I was obligated to do the program because I'm like, I'm constantly seeking growth. I always want to build my discipline skills. Like, why would I not do this?
Right, right.
So I start the program. There's basically there's like 7 things that you have to do, and one of them is you have to stick to a healthy diet. So it's not necessarily like a fitness thing or anything, but
Okay.
it's along the same lines because fitness, business, and these things like all align with the same tactics.
Yeah.
So you have to be disciplined in the things that you don't want to do. And so you have to stick to a diet. So I wanted to do a protein focused diet. So I did a protein focused diet, changed my whole like physique basically. I also learned how to work out differently throughout this whole thing because again, I listen to so many podcasts. Shalene Johnson's another one I listen to. I love her. And so I started lifting heavier and doing less high intensity. So I started working out differently to see how my body would react. And
Okay.
it's just been a whole game changer. So, but back to your
Yeah.
question. So
Yeah.
protein first is what I will always say. I don't necessarily like limit certain things or whatnot. I just pay attention to what my body likes. And I choose foods for what I know is going to make me feel better after I eat it.
Okay.
I'm very intentional when it comes to that, but I also meal prep everything. Like I'm so boring. I eat the same thing almost like every day because
Yeah.
I just prep everything in advance because it's ready there. And so for people that are on the go, that's something I definitely suggest to do is to meal prep everything so then it's
Okay.
ready because if it's not easily like accessible, you're
Yeah.
gonna grab something that's usually probably not gonna be so great for you, you know? So
True. I mean,
the
yeah. Makes
yeah.
Okay. Wow. And yeah, I mean, I've seen some of those meal preps and I mean, they look good. They don't look like, like I don't want that. No, they look delicious.
Yeah.
But,
There's a lot of good ones out there too.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with this and the nutrition side, how about I guess mental wise too, because I know that
Mm-hmm.
live, one of the they say stress is the killer and over worrying and all that.
Mm-hmm.
How does that tie in with fitness and nutrition and but also the mind and keeping yourself balanced? So,
Mm-hmm. Yes, the mind has so much to do with all of it in so many
Mhm.
ways. So let's start, I guess, with nutrition. We'll just start there. So, because there's certain foods that are going to do you a disservice, and they'll cause you to have inflammation and be more sluggish, and it'll
Oh,
affect your brain. So, there's these different types of foods that you want to focus on and not focus on. I mean, just focus on whole foods. You're always going to do well with whole foods. Stay away from processed as much as you can because that's what's going to cause the like fogginess and
okay.
cloudiness in your head and just be sluggish.
Yeah.
Um, but also, as far as like fitness and you're working out and just like moving your body, that alone creates so much mental clarity. I go on walks around our property. I try to do it every day now. During the Live Hard, I was doing it every day. And
Okay.
I would just turn off my phone, turn off my headphones, and just like walk in quiet. It was like my walk with Jesus, I would say. And I would
That's
get
cool.
so much clarity just because I
Wow.
would be moving my body in nature. And it's just like, it was amazing. It was so, so
Yeah.
good. And so I encourage everybody to just get out in nature, go move your body, go walk, but just I mean, all your fitness, like all your working out, whether you're challenging yourself to like see how far you can go and pushing your limits, it's when you can get yourself in a space to just focus on what your body's doing and how it's moving,
Yeah.
it does something to your mentality, whether you're pushing discipline, you're trying to get clarity, you're just trying to gain energy. You get so much energy even from working out and just moving your body, getting
Very
off the
true.
couch.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
true on that. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And
Yeah.
it's very true. Yeah, I mean, some of us, especially us that do editing on our podcasts and certain things that we do on our show, we sit down for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, we need to get up and move at least 30 minutes or something just to keep us at the flow instead of hours of sitting. Oh,
Yes. Yes. I got myself a stand-up desk at the office and it's
oh,
been
you
like a
did? Oh,
game
cool.
changer.
Oh,
It's
wow.
been, yeah, it's amazing like the energy difference between sitting down and standing up.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, at Costco one time, I did see a desk that goes up and down. It's one of those, and I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah. Amazing.
very cool. And so, let's talk about now the spiritual side. I feel like, as a Christian myself, and you're a Christian, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, um, one thing is also fear and self-doubt and insecurities, but also faith and the word. What advice can you give those that are kind of new to the word of God, but looking to build their inner strength of their soul, of their spirit, of because that can, wear us down, especially what's going on today in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things with gas prices going up and just certain things. I mean, it could get overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But then we forget on certain, let me get back to what's something I was thinking last night. Okay, so it just hit my mind right now. When I was walking last night and the area where I'm living, and I looked up to the sky and I saw the stars, right? Of course, it wasn't like a movie where it's all like. billions of stars, but you just see what you see, and you're like, okay.
Right.
But there's something that came to my mind, was that story of Abraham, with Jesus and the two angels, right?
Hmm.
Um, and that's something that we forget sometimes, especially with what's going on in today's world and just even our own personal life, right?
Hmm.
And when
Hmm.
Jesus asked Sarah, is there anything too hard for the Lord that he cannot do? Right?
Hmm.
When
Hmm.
Abraham and Sarah were supposed to have a kid, Isaac,
Hmm.
in a very old age, for those that don't know the story. Uh,
Hmm.
but that's interesting. That's a question that sometimes we tend to forget to ask, to remember, God asking us that,
Hmm.
you know, is this too hard for me that I can't do this for you? Do you think it's
Right.
hard?
Right.
And that's the thing that came to my mind right now, and definitely
Hmm.
I need it, especially for my own journey, and
Hmm.
it's a blessing. So just to
Yeah.
know that story, it's a beautiful story of just him asking us that, do you think
Hmm.
it's hard for me just to provide that? Do you think where's your faith?
Yeah.
Where's your
Yeah.
belief?
Right, right. I know. I think we tend to shrink God into this little box like too often,
Uh,
and we need to remember like what's over our head is under his
mm,
feet. Like
yeah.
nothing's too big for him, nothing's too small for him. And it's funny you mentioned that actually just walking around and seeing the stars. Like when I take my dogs, we've got a big like dog run in the back, and my
Oh, you
my
do?
husband
Okay.
like he's like no dogs in the house because they're ranch dogs, but I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
okay.
but they're my babies. But anyway, so they don't stay in the house at night.
Right.
And so they're in the dog run in the back. And so every night when I'm taking them, the stars just like blow me away. And I just
Oh,
tend to just like find this peace with God as I'm walking outside for just like those few minutes. There's something about just like getting in nature, seeing the stars,
mm,
whatever it is. It's just like to me, it's a reminder that God is present,
yeah,
When
yeah,
it's raining and there's a rainbow, like it's his promise to us,
yeah,
like
yeah,
there's all these things. So I would say to don't stop and don't ever stop reading your word because God will use it as you go. Like it's a whole process. Like you're never going to stop growing, but
yeah,
everybody starts somewhere.
yeah,
So you have to, you start at let's start like a place one, a whatever you want to call it,
yeah,
but if you continue to grow in it and seek him, he's going to use that. And so if you are in your word every single day, then you're going to grow faster than if you're in it just a few times a week. Like I actually
yeah,
heard this study, I forget what it's called, but they were saying like if you read your word 1 to 3 times a week, like it'll inspire you. But if you read the Bible 4 to 7 times a week, then it's actually going to transform you. So it's a huge difference. So don't trust that God's ever left you. He's staying by your side the entire time. Even if he's quiet, he might be testing you, but he's working on you no matter what. So just keep your eyes fixed on him. And you're just in the beginning of your journey. Like you have
yeah.
so your whole life to go. So I would just encourage anybody who's going through that, who feels failure or feels fear or feels like maybe they're not worthy, keep your eyes on God and remember who you are in Jesus because you might feel like that for this time being, but that's also the lie of the enemy in your head. So you need to start talking to yourself and remind yourself of who you are in Jesus and cast that demon out, like you're just tell the devil who you are in Jesus and remind him of your identity in God, because you're just going to continue to grow. Does
Amen.
that
Yeah.
help?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. Good.
Yeah, and that's true. If you read the Bible 1 to 3 times a week, yes, like you said, it's like inspiring you, right? But then if you
Mhm.
spend 4 to 7 times a week, or I'll just say every day,
Mhm.
you see change within you, and you see. Yeah, I actually noticed that lately. I was finishing up the book of John a few days ago, and I read from beginning to end, and that, I just felt different. It's like a healing that sometimes of a peace, right? Certain
Mhm.
things that I might have needed, or certain things that have come up that God still kept me at peace.
Yeah.
But I was interesting with the book of John. Just it's a beautiful book.
Mhm.
So, or that chapter,
Yeah.
yeah, the book of John. So,
Right, right. And it's the Bible reads you. It's active and alive. So like I just finished actually a few days ago. I got all the way through Revelation. So now I'm starting back over. And I was like, God, how do you want me to do this now? Like, do you want me to just start from the very beginning or do you want me to do like specific studies throughout it? And so he's like, no, start at the very beginning, go all the way through again. And so I have, and now I'm doing it though differently where I'm reading like one full chapter at a time and then I'm soaking in it and
Okay.
meditating on what he says. And it's like amazing what he has shown me. And like, how did I not see this before? But
That's
it
cool.
speaks to you differently because God will talk to you through his word. So,
Yeah. How do you I guess manage it with your walk with God with the Bible or just like how can I say it? So like sometimes we feel like I don't know. I'm just sometimes with me if I'm like okay, I'm reading the Bible and sometimes it seems the same routine sometimes,
hmm
right? Like okay,
hmm
I've read this passage before, all right.
hmm
But then when is it that when you read it, you're like, whoa, that really spoke to me, you know?
hmm
You ever had that? Like sometimes when you
Oh,
read it,
yeah.
you're kind of like, well, I didn't feel nothing on that one.
Right.
But maybe the few days later, you read another thing, you're like, oh shoot, this was what I needed. But then there's days
Yeah.
that you read and you're like, nope, nothing came out of that for me.
hmm
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's really a question. I'm just asking if you experienced that and how do you go from some dryness to living water at times when you
Yeah.
read it? Mhm.
Yeah, I just I've learned recently actually to pray through the scripture. And so I'm trying to get better at that too. So everything that I go through, I'm actually trying to like memorize it better too, like all
Oh,
the
are you?
stories and whatnot. And
Okay.
so I'll write down all my notes, but then I'll repeat it out loud of what I just learned about it, and then I'll tell my husband too. So I get
Yeah.
like repetition is what I
Yeah.
need. So but I'll pray through it. So even if it's not necessarily something that is speaking to me right now or something like on a deeper level, I'll just pray my way through it of like, God, how do you want me to use this? Or
Okay.
how can I apply this? Or even like go Google or go chat GPT, like how is, to go deeper and whatnot, like use your
Yeah.
resources. Those are
That's a good
tools,
resource.
man.
Yeah.
And you'll get a lot out of it because God can use that too. you
Very
know?
true. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I never done that. I should try that
Oh my
with
gosh, it's
ChatGPT.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. There's
That's
so
cool.
much I've learned. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those that are looking to get back into the gym, trying to do that fitness, it could be intimidating at times, right? Of just starting and you're like, oh, I don't see results after a few weeks, or maybe I just look weird doing these weight
Mm-hmm.
system. I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
recommend? Like to those that are just wanting to start out to get into the fitness, but they don't want
Mm-hmm.
to stop right away because of insecurities, what people
Mm-hmm.
might think. How do you overcome
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have to do it anyway. You have to do it in the
that?
face of fear because honestly, when you get there, you think that everyone's looking at you, but nobody's looking at you. Like if you can't figure out a machine, like no, somebody will actually help you if you are
Oh,
open
that's
to
true.
asking for it. Everyone is
Yeah.
so cool at the gym. I realize that more even through this competition because there's so many people. Like I go at the same time usually, so I see the same crowd, but like we don't really talk to each other. But now I've met everybody because I'm asking for votes, so it's really cool. But like
That's cool.
everyone's so nice. So people, especially fitness people, if they know how to use it, they will be happy to show you how to use it.
That's
But
cool.
don't be fearful of it. You have to
Yeah.
step out in faith and you have to just do it in the face of fear because you can't let other people hold you back ultimately. Like they're not the ones who are feeling how you feel being this weight or being whatever you're trying to, get through. So you can't let them hold you back because ultimately it's you're the one that has to make the move to reach that goal. And so once you get into it and once you start doing it, you get more confident. Confidence doesn't come first. Confidence
Right.
comes from the
Right.
action,
The
and you
action.
have to just
Right.
do it. So
Yeah.
just
Just
start
start.
because and start anywhere. There's so
Yeah.
many apps out now too. What is it? I'm trying to think of a couple that are Buff Bunny just came out with one. I think it's called Grounds app. There's a few apps out there that are just so amazing. So you can have a whole routine on your phone. So if you don't know what you're doing or how to do it, then
Yeah.
just go or follow influencers. I've gotten so many good workouts from gym and like fitness influencers. I'm like, oh, let me try that. Let me try
Oh,
that.
cool.
So there's so much out there with internet now. So
Yeah.
you have no excuse, honestly. If you don't know what you're doing, then you need to look into it. But
Yeah.
how bad do you want it? You just
Very
need to
true.
get out there.
Nice. Wow. Well said on that.
Thank you.
Before we close on the episode, let's talk real quick on your journey of this competition. What support do you need from the viewers, those watching, just uh, to follow you to, I mean, what is it you need?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I appreciate it so much. So at this point in the competition, I'm actually seeking sponsorships. So all donations are made to the B Plus Foundation, which funds kids' cancer research. And
Okay.
so it all goes to a great cause. And so I don't know how far behind first place I truly am. So I only know what place I'm in. So I could be $1,000, I could be $5,000. I don't know, but
Yeah.
every little bit helps. So I've been asking if you have a business, or even if not, even for an individual, it is a write-off regardless. So if you're willing to do 10 bucks, 100 bucks, 250 or whatever, I would be so incredibly grateful to get us to the finish line. That would be amazing. So I can send you the link so you can post it too, because it was all done through the link.
Oh, it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. And for
Thank
them to
you.
follow your journey, what is your Instagram?
It's at Jamie Mallek.
At Jamie Mallek. All
Yep.
right, cool. Well, we wish you the best on Thursday's cut for at 7 Pacific time. And that's such a awesome heart of you, just where God put that on your heart to give 10 grand to your church. Just, I mean, I feel like, wow, I mean, that speaks volume. I mean, I'm just
Thank you.
when you said that, I was like, or when I saw it on your Instagram, I was like, wow, like that's incredible that you have a heart like that to just,
Thank you.
to honor God and give back. So,
Thank you. Well, it's crazy too because looking back now, I'm like, he's opened the doors now because of the position that I'm in. Like the heart that I have now is now he's like, okay, I'm going to open doors for you because you're doing it for me and not for you. Like my
mm,
name might have the title, but my entire story is his story. So he gets all the
wow.
glory with everything. And
Wow.
so I've positioned myself for him. So now he's actually making a way. So
Yeah.
positions everything. So here we are.
Hey, that's awesome. And that's so cool that even for yourself, you're not representing just you, that you're putting God at your forefront, and saying, "Hey, it's him, it's him. I'm
hmm
just the vessel. I'm just the person in the front, but God's the one that's my manager, my promoter, the one that's everything." So that's so
Amen.
cool. Yeah, amen
Amen.
to that.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Jamie, for coming on Rhythm and Rolls Las Vegas, and we wish you the best. And um,
Thank you.
yeah, and guys, if you'd like to share your story and journey on Rhythm and Rolls Las Vegas, my Instagram is Joshua Jacob Official. I believe every story matters and every story can impact someone's life. And just know that God has a purpose for you, some plan for you. But if you want to find a church that's Bible based, yeah, just look it up online, see what's in your area. What the Bible I read is New King James Version. I love for you to start in Matthew or John, get to know the story of Jesus, and go from there. But Jamie, thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you. Thanks for
Yeah,
having me on. I appreciate it. This was so great.
you're welcome. All right, guys, this is Joshua Jacob, Rhythm and Roads, Las Vegas.